Shaun Murphy's got another engagement as well on Friday. He's playing golf at Accrington Golf Club. It's a golf day that's been arranged to support the Paul Hunter Foundation. The late great Paul Hunter, 3 times a Masters champion, of course, and firm friends with the man at the table at the moment, Matthew Stevens. Now here, a lot depends on whether either of the 2 reds close together will pot. I don't think they will. And if the red closest to the pink doesn't go to the middle, I think Stevens has got away with that. Not the best of safeties from Murphy. He has left a red to middle, and the cue ball isn't as close to the ball cushion as it should be.
One.
Couldn't be overly complex with his positional aspect there. Knew he was kissing into the blue. If he's on the black, it's a bonus. Lots of work to be done, though. Now suddenly
6.
It's a whole lot more promising, especially if you can force an angle on the blue to get into the bunch. That said, the pink being away from the reds doesn't help matters.
Seven.
Of course, he could go into the bunch off the black. Top cushion first. They could split nicely here, I can tell you. Well, Stevens there, a little unfortunate. Okay, he's got a red to middle. But this is a very similar situation to what occurred in the first frame.
14.
The black blocked off by 2 reds.
Sorry, is it touching? Yeah, touching ball.
Alan Chamberlain calls touching ball on the red, meaning that Stevens could play away from it if he wanted to. But if he can pod the red to middle, of course he'll go for it. Again,
Stevens.
I'll repeat myself. Stevens, with that split, was unfortunate. And now it's worked very much in favour of his opponent.
One.
Murphy arrives
6.
here direct from a run to the semi-finals of the Dafabet Masters at the Alexandra Palace in North London. 2 really fighting displays there to make the last 4. Overcame Ding Junhui, 6-4 from 4-2 down. Ding earlier this season having won 3 consecutive world ranking events.
7.
And then he also recovered well to beat Marco Fu in the quarterfinals. That's where the run ended, though. Murphy lost in the semi-finals to Mark Selby. And I can tell you, Selby is one of the 3 players who will join this competition tomorrow for Group 4. The other 2 being Tom Ford and Stephen Maguire. Of course, the way it works, the other 4 players in Group 4, they'll be the 2 losing semi-finalists this evening, the losing finalist, and the player who finishes 5th in this group.
13. 14.
Well, Murphy there didn't intend to chip the
20.
red he made contact with quite so far. Does have an alternative, mind you.
21.
Still only 31 years of age, Shaun Murphy, but vastly
27.
experienced. Here's an interesting stat for you. He's been a professional for more than half his life. He was granted special dispensation to turn professional at the age of 15.
$28.
The reason he joined the pro ranks so early, 1 year younger than normal, was because he had such a remarkable junior career. And one thing that's been a constant, he's always possessed that classical action. Very good
34.
cueman. And he'll need good cueing here, with the cue ball so close to the side cushion.
35.
Yes, so Murphy turned professional 3 years before he could vote.
41.
And I know for certain he's interested in politics. 2 years before he could legally
42.
drive. 3 years before he could have a drink of strength. Good try, but needed a thicker contact on that mini triangle of 3
48.
reds, and so 48, that's where the break reaches its conclusion. He's only 34 in front, 6 reds remaining, therefore 75 points,
Shaun Murphy.
so needs to be
48.
careful. Contrasting Championship League campaigns so far for these two. Of course, Matthew Stevens, this is the first group in which he's been involved, but Murphy was in at the start. Played in both Group 1 and Group 2. Well, when he won the 2005 World Championship as a qualifier, Murphy's potting from distance was a revelation. In this match so far, he's not been on the mark, and that's why Stevens has the opportunity to counter-attack.
Seven.
Yes, the expression said it all, didn't it, really? This pot across the ball cushion is not easy. Especially at the pace he's got to play it to obtain position. Wise old owl, though. Don't think the brown being in the way is luck. That's the way he played it. That was the cover shot. Yeah, Shaun Murphy came in Group 1. Progressed to Group 2, not by making the playoffs, but by finishing in 5th place in Group 1 with only 2 wins out of 6. So just about scraped through. That was because Stuart Bingham and Rob Milkins, who were eliminated from the tournament, had only 1 win each in their 6 matches. Murphy, though, did perform better in Group 2. Made the semi-final playoffs with 3 wins out of 6. And of course, in one of those victories, he produced the highlight of the tournament so far, a 1-4-7 break in his 3-2 win over Mark Davis. In the semi-finals, Murphy lost 3-1 to Judd Trump, who was subsequently beaten in the final by Joe Perry. So the 2 players through to the winners group so far: Ricky Walden, winner of Group 1, Joe Perry, winner of Group 2. That's a couple of Englishmen, and Murphy would love to be the 3rd. I was talking a short while ago about the fact that Murphy's potting from distance hasn't been the best so far in the match. Of course, he's using a new cue this season. They all throw a little differently. Takes some while to get used to them. That, though, was better.
Shaun Murphy, 1.
Well, an expansive shot to try and get into the group of 3 reds. OK, the green was missed, but basically it's cost Murphy only 3 points. Now this might be a touching ball. Now, at the start of this match, I promised to keep you up to date with what's happening on table 1. Well, I can tell you Mark Davis has taken the first frame from Ryan Day. But Day, currently at the table, trying to equalise with a reasonable good scoring opportunity. Now that made complete sense. Murphy 28 points ahead, doesn't need to force the issue, and getting a colour safe definitely helps his cause. That's what you do when you have a reasonable advantage. Try and get a few colours safe to make it more and more difficult for your opponent to hit back. And I think here Stevens might have left a shot to nothing on the red just behind the line of 3. Well, that was poorly played, and the snooker in behind green and blue, a perk. Well, nicely done. No immediate damage, but Murphy might be able to nestle the cue ball in behind the black here for another snooker. Now this one could be more problematic. See what I mean? Stevens sees the funny side. I think that escape, though, might just have cost him £100.
On. Four. Five.
The black takes Shaun Murphy 40 points ahead, 43 on the table, so just this simple part, and it will be 1-1.
$13. $18. 19. Shaun Murphy 19.
Erring on the yellow didn't matter in the slightest. Murphy 47 ahead, just 27 on. Consequently, Stevens concedes.